Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, Emerald Planet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the Emerald Planet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we're looking around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technologies, the services, and the products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we go to a planet with 9 billion folks by 2050, how are we going to be able to provide the quality of life and everything that's needed for them and make sure that we also protect the environment at the same time while bringing about a greener lifestyle? I have a gentleman who's been working on this for a number of years, sitting right beside me. This is Dr. Arthur B. Weissman, who is the President and CEO of Green Seal. And glad to have you, Arthur.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for being out with us. And let's bring up his logo. This is a very nice logo. And Arthur's going to tell us a little bit about this, but tell us about the organization.
Sure. Green Seal is a nonprofit organization that has been in existence now for 25 years. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary in October. And we were one of the first organizations that was founded with the sole purpose of making the economy more sustainable by focusing on the products and services that are in the economy, that are the very basis of the economy. And we do that in a couple of ways. The major way we do that is by setting environmental leadership standards for various product and service categories, and then certifying products and services that meet those standards.
I think that's incredible because it's something they've asked about Emerald Planet for many years, if we have that kind of thing, almost like the Green Seal, the UL. And that's not something we want to be able to identify those, but allow you guys to go through the certification process, because that's quite elaborate.
It is indeed.
And there's a lot of trailing liability that goes along with that as well. So you guys are to be commended for the work that you've done over these many years, but you've been around almost 3 decades now. So what are some of the major accomplishments that you've had, and what do you see for the next 3 decades?
Well, as you say, Sam, it is quite an elaborate process, not only to certify, but first of all, to develop these standards. They take up to a year or more for each product or service category that we set a leadership standard for. They can involve hundreds, 400 in one case, stakeholders in the development of it. So it's quite an elaborate process, and then even certifying a product or service takes months. Now we have, over this 25-year period, I think we can take credit for helping to make a whole number of different sectors of the economy more sustainable. For example, the building maintenance sector, which includes janitorial products and services, paints, things like that, HVAC equipment. Also the paper industry, particularly in the towel and tissue market, we've helped make that more sustainable. And the hospitality industry, including lodging, hotels, and now restaurants as well. And in general, I think we have, through standards that cover almost 400 product and service categories, we've really set the bar, the goal, for both producers of these products and services and also purchasers of them. And
now the neat thing about that too is the fact that you're doing this, it really has become a worldwide standard, so it's not something that's just unique to the United States. And so this is really helping, many other countries that are trying to seek and do the very same thing to green the operations and the products within their own,
and in fact,
borders.
We helped to found, I was the founding chair of the Global Eco-Labeling Network, which now has over 30 similar programs to Green Seal around the world.
That's incredible. Wow, that's really a great accomplishment. You have hundreds of best practices that you're talking about. I think you said over 400 different categories, and you have the standards within there.
Right.
So how do you organize, how do you foster these best practices and make sure that they not only just continue in the future, but also they're in a constant state of improvement, and you're constantly reducing the cost and the impact on the environment by having customer satisfaction?
Exactly. Well, the way we do it is, first of all, as I mentioned, in developing the standard, we have to set the standard at a point where it reflects the best practices from a point of view of the environmental impact and the human health impact of a product or service. But we constantly have to go back. Once we've set a standard, we can't stop. We always are looking, is the industry improving? Is the science and the knowledge about that product or service or about the environmental and health impacts, are they changing as well? So we have to go back and do that. And some of the examples that we'll see in the show today of those clients of ours who have had products or services that we have certified or that we're working with will demonstrate that innovation. For example, the W Hotel in Seattle not only meets our leadership standard, but it meets it at the highest level, the gold. And they do that because...
What different levels do you have?
We have 3 in that standard. In our product standards, basically 1 level, but in our service standards, for various reasons, we have different levels. There's the bronze, silver, and gold for the hotel standard. The W of Seattle is at the gold level because they met some of the provisions of the gold level for very high efficiency, energy efficiency, and waste reduction.
And also, too, you're helping them to reduce, or really putting emphasis on reducing the use of water, which is really a worldwide phenomenon going on right now because of just the desperate need for water in so many different areas with the drought and the extreme weather changes that we're having.
Particularly in the West Coast. And the another company that will be featured, Wausau Paper, which has many of its products Green Seal certified now. They're planning to have a great many indeed. Even the most innovative product that you'll probably hear Younette and Sleet talk about, the Artisan, meets our standard. But one of the features that all of these products have to meet under our standard for these tissue products, GS1, is a reduction of water. They have to have a limited amount of water or energy that they use to produce that product.
Yeah, the interesting thing about it too is that you have some very old companies, 100 years or more histories, and they're actually exceeding these new standards that we have as we go towards 2050. So it's interesting. So as you're meeting with people and talking with top management, and then the people day to day that are actually the sustainability vice presidents or directors, what is the message? Or are they actually bringing the message to Green Seal saying, we really want to meet these standards because this helps set the bar as far as our competition is concerned and what we want to be as a company?
Well, that is indeed what happens. We try to go out and visit with our clients quite a bit to understand what their needs are and where they are going, because often they are the ones who know they know their industry best, they know their products and services best, and so that gives us a better idea of where things are going. And the ones who are really in the forefront, such as the W Seattle and Wausau Paper, and the third one that we'll be talking about, Whole Foods Market, where we have helped them green their supply chain, they are always looking ahead to what they can do to make their offerings more sustainable.
Yeah, and all this too, you hear about the high cost of being green, the high cost of being environmentally sensitive and sustainable. Actually, it greatly reduces the waste, lowers the cost, lowers the, as you were talking about, use of water and energy, all these other things. And how people have this mistaken notion that being green somehow increases your costs is just absolutely absurd, when it actually, you're wringing out all the waste within a system.
Yeah.
So how do you communicate that?
Well, and that's one of the big issues for the consumer market. We have made great strides, Green Seal, in the 25 years. In mostly what we call the institutional business to business, business to government, we still have to penetrate that consumer market, which is most of the economy. And one of the impediments, as you mentioned, is this perception, which is often a misperception, that it costs more to be more sustainable, when in fact you are taking out the waste and the inefficiencies. But where that comes from is that the economy of scale of green products in many cases now is still at a disadvantage to the conventional products, which have more marketing, more subsidies and all. And we have seen that reversed in the institutional market. but we have to get retailers and consumer product manufacturers to make that reversal in the consumer market, so that there won't be there will be a parity of cost. So
you want a direct connect then, as far as this idea of cost, versus the efficiencies of the organization.
Right, and also people see that the initial cost, say, of a compact fluorescent lamp or of an LED light bulb may be higher, but that they don't realize or think that over a time, and not even a long time, the overall operating cost is much lower, so that they would be paying much less in the longer run.
Well, it's just like the studio we're in right now. At one time, because of using incandescent bulbs, it would be so hot in here, you actually chilled this room just like a refrigerator.
Right.
And so the whole building was supporting, in essence, the studio.
Right.
Where we put these LEDs in here, it's actually brighter, it's more color balanced, and it tremendously reduced the amount of electricity that we're actually using for the whole building because of the lack of heat that's coming in here. So this is something that people really need to think about.
Right.
What about government involvement with Green Seal? Do you have support from the federal, state governments, and does that factor into what it is that you're doing, Arthur?
Well, Green Seal, first of all, is a completely private, independent, nonprofit organization. So we are not connected with any government, federal, state, or local in any way. And we don't get funding from any government, except incidentally if we apply for a grant or if we work with a government and get a contract. However, as you say, we have worked with a number of governments at all levels over the last 20 years, say, of our existence in what we call our institutional greening program, where we are trying to help them make their purchasing, their facilities management, their operations more sustainable. And in fact, one of the nice things that has happened is that they have specified, a number of governments, particularly state governments, have specified Green Seal standards for their own purchasing. And in 10 states now, it is required by law that Green Seal certified cleaning products be used in the schools, K through 12.
That's incredible. Oh, that's a huge accomplishment. So I'm glad that you actually brought that out. We just have a few seconds left. What do you want to convey to consumers about greening the marketplace? And then what do you see for the growth of Green Seal over the next 5, 10, 15 years? And we got about 30 seconds to do all that.
That's all.
Got to be quick.
Okay. Well, to consumers, you have a lot of power. Use it. Tell your favorite retailers and brands that you care about the environment and its impact, the impact of their products and services on the environment and on your health.
Now, where are you going to be in 5 to 10 years?
And you have the power of the purse as well, consumers. In 5 or 10 years, we're going to be more and more in the consumer market. That's where we're heading, through restaurants, retailers, and schools, and other places.
Fantastic. Dr. Arthur B. Weissman, who is President and CEO of Green Seal, thank you for being with us. Talk about how we're actually greening the environment as we create the Emerald Planet.
Listen to smoke before you give it a try.
Only you.
Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice. Homeless minds. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
Why don't you just wash your car at home?
When I wash my car, everything runs down the street and down into the storm drains. With all the chemicals in the soaps and waxes, the last thing I want to do is poison my own drinking water. At least here, it's all contained and recycled on site. That's why I also take my car in for oil changes instead of doing it myself. I might take a chance on spilling stuff. You know what the best part is?
What?
More time to kick back and watch the game.
How far would you go to protect the planet?
I want you to build an ark.
Here we go. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay. Ow!
Maybe there's another way.
People, the flood is imminent.
Is it too much to ask for a little precipitation?
Go to fightglobalwarming.com to find out what you and your community can do to reduce global warming pollution.
Somewhere around the world, there are men and women of the armed forces risking their lives, helping rebuild communities after natural disasters, collecting toys for needy children, tutoring kids in school. These are your sons and daughters who work to keep us safe, secure, and free. Dedicated men and women who put their country first.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
To the Emerald Planet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we're looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technologies, the services, and the products that are taking us to 2050 when we'll have a planet of some 9 billion souls. And so when we get there, are we going to be able to provide all the basic infrastructure, the education, the health care, also the food, the fuel, the fiber, the housing, and the transportation that's going to be needed by adding 2 billion new souls? We have a gentleman who's actually working in this whole area. He's in the hotel industry. This is Harvey Palmer. He is the Director of Engineering for the W Seattle Hotel, a gold standard by Green Seal organization. And he's coming in to us by Skype. And then we have sitting right beside me Dr. Arthur B. Weissman, who is the President and CEO of Green Seal. So Harvey, I understand you're here by Skype.
Thank you. Yeah, I am.
Glad to have you here, and we have the, as you can see, the image of your hotel. This is really a gorgeous facility, Harvey, that you have, and thank you for sharing some information about it.
Well, we're really proud of our hotel. It's a landmark in Seattle.
And well, you're doing good things out there, and Arthur has said much about the W Seattle Hotel. Tell us a little bit about the hotel itself.
Well, the hotel is part of Starwood Hotels and Resorts Worldwide. A lot of people aren't familiar with the W. Some of our more recognizable names would be the Sheraton, the Westin, St. Regis. The W is a lifestyle brand. We basically targeted a market between 25 and 35. So that being said, obviously, we had a big interest in conservation and being green, because our customers are the people that drive that market.
Well, I think it's really fantastic. And why did you decide to actually pursue the green certification? You can be green without being certified, but yet through your leadership, the hotel decided to go through the whole process. Why do that? And what do you see as the value added for your hotel itself?
Well, like most businesses, I think our green efforts started as a way to reduce our costs more than anything else. When I started with the hotel in 2004, many of the utilities and the services that we received were very reasonably priced. But within just a couple of years, costs had gone up substantially, and it was starting to impact the actual revenues of the hotel. So we went looking for ways to control the cost, and water reduction being one of the primary things that we pursued, energy reduction. By 2007, we had reduced our water consumption by 20%, and our energy consumption by about 12–13%.
Well, that's incredible, Harvey, and those are real dollars added to the bottom line. So it's kind of the concept of the triple bottom line, where you're helping to improve the environment, but at the same time, you're really reducing the cost, but providing a greater value added for the clients that are using your hotel. Arthur's sitting right beside me, and he's participating with us, and he's going to ask the next question. Arthur? Your question?
I'm sorry, which?
Yeah, number 3.
Oh, okay. Well, Harvey, I don't want to really ask this, but why did you select Green Seal as your primary green certification? I think the answer is, of course, the obvious one. It's the best, but we want to hear from you.
Well, really what motivated us more than anything, there were only two possibilities. One was LEEDs, the U.S. Green Building Council, and the other being Green Seal, both of which had third-party verification, which is really important. When we looked the programs over, we really determined that Green Seal was a better fit for us because it dealt with all of the products and the other things that are part of a hotel. A hotel is like having 500 bathrooms and bedrooms. So cleaning products are a huge part of what we do. Trash, those kinds of things are all huge parts. We also, we were an existing hotel, so we couldn't go out and change the windows, the UV factors, the other things. So we focused on the things we could affect. Green Seal was the obvious choice. The GS33 program was very, very specific to what we needed.
Yeah, I'm going to follow on that question, and that was an excellent answer. And Arthur, you have to be proud of the answer that he's actually sharing with you. But looking at the Green Seal specifically, I think you've answered some of that, but why has Green Seal been so good for you as far as its certification, and how maybe that translates into the marketing of the hotel and also the relationship you're having with these young professionals that are actually using your facility?
Well, Green Seal was the only name that was actually recognizable too. They've got a great reputation. The products that they have certified, people use them in their home. It's reasonably easily recognizable. So to have that certification was very important as well. When you tell people that you have green certification or a green certification company, you want it to be somebody they actually know. There are a number of organizations that nobody heard of that are more than willing to certify you, but it was important that we produce a certification that somebody recognized.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, you're definitely a national and international brand yourself, and so you want to have an organization like Green Seal that is both nationally and internationally known. So that's a match of equals and all that, what you're doing, Harvey. What are some of the most challenging aspects you have as far as greening the operations that you have there, and also to continue the recertification of the facility itself in order to constantly improve what it is that you're doing?
The hardest part of being green is to convince people that it's worth doing. People have been doing things one way for a long time. So you have to come in and change their mindset, and that's very difficult to do. People that have been cleaning one way, or people that have been purchasing these products that they're very familiar with, will tell you right up front that the green products don't work as well, or saving one piece of paper is not important. So changing their mind is the hardest part of becoming green. Once you do that, once you get buy-in, once you've got the top management involved, then you can actually make this happen. That's really the most significant part of doing it, is getting the buy-in from the people that work there. That's all of your department heads, right down to the stewards that clean the kitchen. Everybody has to participate.
I'm going to pursue while Arthur is setting up for his next question for you. I'm going to ask about the training. How do you incorporate this into the natural flow of everything that you're doing as far as the W Hotel is concerned? And how do you make that a part of the gradual ethos of the entire facility, of all the employees, regardless of where they may be within the organization?
Every employee that we hire spends their first day in a training program. And one of the things that we did was incorporate this right into the welcome program that we have for employees. They get to hear from the different managers, they get to hear how this impacts our business and how it impacts our customers. And from their very first day with us through their entire time, they get to hear this frequently.
So looking at that, then you're really developing a whole new cadre of people in the hospitality industry that are oriented towards the environment, balancing the greening of your organization. And so that means also that you're very dedicated to your employees, because if you're doing all this training, you want to keep them absolutely as long as you possibly can. So tell us a little bit about that, you know, the retention aspect of your business, and how this, the Green Seal and the environmental nature actually is another hook to hang on to your employees.
Well, Starwood has 180,000 employees, and keeping your very best, your brightest, is a challenge in a business this big. And in the hospitality industry, retention is always an issue. So when you train people and when you bring them in, you make them a part of your corporate culture. We have some of the best retention rates for employees in the hospitality industry.
Nice.
My department, I have my 10 employees in my department, almost all of them have been there for 15 years or more.
That's incredible. That's incredible, particularly in the hospitality industry. Arthur, you want to ask the next question?
Well, Dr. Sam wants me to ask again about certification, so I will. Harvey, does your hotel, the W Seattle, have any other certification or plans to get any other type of certification?
Well, we do have. We have the Green Keys International. We have 5 Green Key rating from them, and they originally they were not a third-party verification organization, but they changed that, and they are now. We've already had 2 of their inspections, which we've passed. Their 5 Keys is their highest rating, and we have TripAdvisor. We have a platinum rating with that, and that is not third-party verified. However, you have to have one of the third-party verifications to get that distinction.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm going to give you kind of a double question, Harvey, if you don't mind. One is, where do you see the hotel going over the next 5, 10, 15 years as far as just greening your operations in general? And then how do you see Green Seal working with you in a collaborative process that will continue to improve your operations over the same period of time? And we only have about 15 seconds to do all that. You got to be quick.
Well, Starwood has a very aggressive program called 30-20 by 20. And every Starwood hotel has already been, since 2009, has been working on reducing their water consumption by 20% by the year 20, and their energy consumption by 30% by the year 20. So if we could accomplish that, we'll make a big impact on greening the planet.
Fantastic. Well, this is Harvey Palmer. He's the Director of Engineering for the W Seattle Hotel. And thank you for being with us as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
I need a job.
Necesito trabajo.
I would like to speak English better.
Me gustaría hablar inglés mejor.
I want to be a U.S. citizen.
Quisiera ser ciudadano de los Estados Unidos.
For over 35 years,
Por más de 35 años,
the Hispanic Committee of Virginia has been serving our community.
el Comité Hispano de Virginia ha estado sirviendo a nuestra comunidad.
Job training and placement,
Capacitación, ayuda para conseguir trabajo,
education for children and adults,
educación para niños y adultos,
immigration, naturalization, and medical referrals
ayuda para los procesos de inmigración y naturalización y orientación sobre médicos
are a small part of what we do.
son solo una pequeña parte de lo que hacemos.
For help, information, or to volunteer,
Para ayuda, información o para ofrecerse como voluntario,
contact the Hispanic Committee of Virginia,
comuníquese con el Comité Hispano de Virginia,
helping everyone participate more fully in American society.
ayudando a todos a participar plenamente en la sociedad norteamericana.
Hey Lena, where's yours?
Would you notice if you were missing half your kidney function? According to the National Kidney Foundation, 20 million people have chronic kidney disease, and 20 million more may be at risk and not even know it. Anyone with high blood pressure, diabetes, or family history of chronic kidney disease is at risk. Early diagnosis is vitally important. To get the whole story, talk to your doctor and visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org or call for a free brochure. Because when it comes to chronic kidney disease, you might not know the half.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. in the United States, and we're looking for those 1,000 best practices, what we call the best of the best, as we look to see how can we improve the environment, but at the same time to cut cost, allow various industries to improve their products so that the consumers are more satisfied with these, while reducing the cost. We have a very old line company who's very famous in the United States and around the globe, Wausau Paper. And Younette Sleet is sitting right beside me. She is the Director of Marketing Communications. And Younette, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And you're here at the invitation of one of your good friends from the Green Seal. Author has been talking with us and sharing about what the Green Seal organization is. But tell us first of all about Wausau Paper, a little bit of the history of the company, and then we're going to start talking about this Green Seal certification, what it means, and how it's impacted you in a very positive way.
All right, well, sure. Wausau Paper is a very old and well-known paper company. We've actually been in business since 1899, so well over 115 years. And today the company is one of the leading manufacturers of towel and tissue products for the away-from-home market. So we market products such as towels, tissue, soap, dispensing systems to markets such as office buildings, healthcare facilities, schools, hotels.
So the institutional and large-scale markets there.
Correct.
Now looking at why did you pursue a green certification for Wausau Paper? What was the importance of that, and what was kind of the decision making within your corporation about why this is something important as we move through the 21st century?
Well, prior to receiving certification, Wausau Paper had been making 100% recycled products for some decades. And we chose to pursue Green Seal certification because we saw the growing need for green products in the market, and also the need to be able to substantiate the environmental claims that we were making with respect to our
third-party
products.
certification.
Correct.
That this was something that was important.
Correct.
And they were looking at the operations of Wausau Paper then.
Right. And when we looked at the Green Seal certification, we found out that it was a very stringent certification. It wasn't just looking at one attribute, but it was what we called a multi-attribute certification. So our products, for instance, are certified currently under GS1, which is the Green Seal standard for sanitary paper products. And that really looks at not only just how or what the paper products are made of, so recycled fibers, but also how the products are made, looks at product packaging. In addition to that, it looks at things such as social responsibility as well from the company standpoint. So really the Green Seal for us allows us to offer products made with a strict environmental standard that's from a third party, that's unbiased, and it allows us to offer our distributor partners and their end-buyer consumers products that have been substantiated and products that carry the Green Seal and really take the guesswork out of that evaluation process for them.
And this is for your clients as well, so they see the certification, they know it meets national and international standards.
Correct.
So it gives them great comfort in something. But you bring up something very interesting that we really didn't talk about a little earlier, but this whole thing of social responsibility. What does that mean? And this is something that most corporations Americans are now, doing and feel it's very important. And of course, now many companies have sustainability directors of even the level of vice president. So why is this becoming such an important part of the ethos, but also the physical operations of a company such as yours?
Well, I think companies want to show that they're good environmental stewards all the way around. And so it's not only important for us just to manufacture products that meet the Green Seal standard, but also to engage in practices that really support sustainability. So for instance, we're a partner of the U.S. EPA Smart Way Transport Partnership. That means that we're looking at improving our freight operations, reducing dioxide emissions and
any kind of greenhouse gas emissions.
Correct, any kind of gas emissions. Looking at optimizing our shipping and warehousing, so making sure that products fit appropriately in boxes, that boxes are put together in such a way that we can get more on a pallet, thereby getting more on a truck, reducing the amount of trucks that we have to send. In addition, our company is engaged in other environmental practices such as just recycling. We have a lot of office waste paper, we have manufacturing broke, and we make sure that we recycle that and actually use it back in our manufacturing and paper making processes.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is this post-consumer use of various materials is very important today, and of course it's proudly displayed on the products itself, and so that's really important. What are some of the challenges that you see as far as looking for this green certification and specifically the Green Seal certification, and how are you able as a corporation to move forward on that, overcome some of these challenges, and then make that as an enhancement to the value added for the company itself?
Well, the Green Seal certification is challenging. A lot of people believe that, you pay some money and you're able to get Green Seal certified. Well, that's not it. The criteria is very stringent. We talked about the different attributes of the certification and the different levels that you have to pass. And so we take great pride in ensuring that our products meet the Green Seal standards. Primarily, we've been an environmental company for many years, so actually getting the Green Seal certification didn't cause us to have to change too many of our processes. But as we look to innovate, as we look to new products, we certainly consider technologies and the value of ensuring that we can continue to produce Green Seal certified products going forward and in the future.
Now, looking at we keep coming out of the conversation how, and we've talked about this with Arthur at Green Seal, in a sense you're wringing out the excesses, you're wringing out extra cost. How does the corporation see this, and how does it actually view its obligation, to shareholders, to top management, as far as looking at how do we balance this cost-benefit analysis within the organization itself?
Well, certainly, Wausau Paper is very in tune into ensuring that we're manufacturing within a cost structure that's not only advantageous for us, but advantageous for our customers and their customers in turn. And so as we look at the investments that we make, as we look at the improvements in processes, we try to have a sustainability eye to those. Some of those I spoke to about the Smart Way Transportation Program, also with the Green Seal certification, but also ensuring that we can implement initiatives that drive out cost and to help us provide quality products, but also products that are still promoting the environment and have lesser harm on the environment as we make them.
Yeah, and this is what they call the triple bottom line. So it sounds like that the corporate philosophy is very much in tune with this, the way that as far as many major corporations, in the world are actually going as we move through the 21st century. So the Green Seal, having that, being able to print that on your packaging and have that in the lobby of the office, at the corporation, all these things. How do you see that seal being a benefit to you in a very visual sense to the customers that you have, but also to the general public?
Well, for our customer base, we sell to distribution, who then in turn sell our products to those end users, those office buildings or hotels. But the Green Seal means something. We began our program with Green Seal in 2003, and at that time, we were actually the first paper company to have a Green Seal certified product line. And as a result of that, we became experts with respect to talent tissue. Now, at that time in our industry, people were aware of Green Seal, more so on the chemical side, but not necessarily as it related to talent tissue. So there was the awareness of the logo and the Green Seal, if you will, and they already knew what it meant. They knew that it was a third-party organization that had environmental standards to which we meet. And then our job over the years has been to educate, well, what does that mean relative to talent tissue? And so from our perspective, we proudly put the Green Seal on our product packaging and promote that within the initiatives that we have at Wausau Paper. And because it means that we do have that credible seal of approval from an organization who's unbiased, a third-party organization. It's not just about what we say. And in our market, we see a lot of greenwashing these days, a lot of unsubstantiated environmental claims, confusing environmental claims, but that Green Seal, seeing that, people are used to it now. It's been out in the market for a lot of years. It's across a lot of different vast product categories and even services. And so people recognize that and know and trust the Green Seal.
I think it's really fantastic too, because it's a third-party evaluator, so it's really arm's length from your operation, anything, any influence that you may have. Looking at this piece of equipment, this is really something I wanted to have up here, because this means that you're really not only just an old company, but you really invest a lot of money in having the latest technologies and all that. Looking at the greening of your product line, how is that factored in through engineering and design, all the things that gets to this huge piece of equipment, which is very expensive, in order to make that product so that the end product really is the highest quality, but it's really the best price for your customers.
Right. Well, Wausau Paper really believes in our green platform, and as a result of that, this paper machine that you're seeing here was a $220 million investment, including some converting upgrades as well, in order to be able to make talent tissue products that were premium Green Seal certified. And so we chose to align with the Atmos paper machine because it really supported our green initiatives, but also allowed us to offer some unique products that really hadn't been seen before in the away from home market. So you're making your supply chain then part of the collaborative and everything that you're doing within the organization. So again, it goes back to this triple bottom line of benefit for everyone, supply chain as well as the customer. So everyone's involved in that. Right. Now, this is incredible looking equipment that you have here, and we're just about out of time, so about 30 seconds we have left. What do you see for Wausau Paper as it moves forward over the next 5, 10, 15 years? Well, Wausau Paper, one of our main goals is to become the leading provider of environmentally sensitive products for the markets that we serve. And so as we continue to look at product innovations from the paper side, but also with our dispensing systems that support and utilize the paper products that we manufacture, we want to ensure that we're continuing that environmental stewardship position that we have, continuing our green leadership position, and really putting quality products and services in the marketplace that our distributor partners can utilize and that certainly fit the needs of the markets that we serve through there. And to make also the clients to feel very comfortable about what they're using and how they're doing it and all that. Well, this is Younette Sleet, who is the Director of Marketing Communications at Wausau Paper. Thank you for being with us as we bring the Emerald Planet.
Saving for retirement might be easy for some folk, but for others, it might take a little more work. And for those who haven't started, there are still things you can do to catch up.
Oh, that is good news.
Like getting out from underneath past debt. And don't get wrapped up with high-interest credit cards.
Get you some eyes.
Be diversified with your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Your financial goals are not out of reach. The choice is clear. For a happy ending, choose to save.
Everyone with alcohol and drug addiction is in the same boat. With treatment, you can find solid ground. For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Dude, are you sure you want this tattoo? Because just do it.
Some mistakes in life are permanent. Like hearing loss. To learn how to protect your hearing, visit asha.org.
You've probably heard about heart disease, but did you know that it's the #1 killer of women nationwide? Heart disease claims more lives each year than breast cancer, lung cancer, or strokes combined. But there are steps you can take to protect yourself against it. For more information on how you can prevent heart disease, contact your local American Heart Association or visit their website at www.americanheart.org.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we bring you the best of the best, the very best practices that are available across 144 different nations as we go to a planet that will have some 9 billion souls by 2050. And so how are we going to be able to take care of all these people at the same time to protect the environment? We have a gentleman coming on is with actually a very famous company, Whole Foods Market, which many consumers know, and many people that do cooking will certainly know about Whole Foods. I actually shop there myself. This is Errol Schweizer, who is the Executive Global Grocery Coordinator. I love that title, Errol. This is quite a title that you have there with Whole Foods. And sitting right beside me is Dr. Harvey Weissman, who is the President CEO of Green Seal, which is a third-party evaluator of the best, as best we say, author for these various companies. So Errol, welcome to the Emerald Planet. You're coming in by Skype, and I have Arthur sitting right here beside me in the studio. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you out. Tell us a little bit about Whole Foods Market. What is it, a little bit of its history and some of the importance of it. And I know it because I do some of my shopping there, but tell us about it.
Sure, I've been with Whole Foods Market for about 13 years. Whole Foods was founded in 1980 in Austin, Texas, which is where our global headquarters are located, and we're among the world's largest retailers for organic and natural and non-GMO products, and we've always been a leader in responsible sourcing and ethically sourced products, and it's something that we take very seriously. It's part of our DNA, and for instance, working on green cleaning products, it's part of our core values, advancing environmental stewardship. So it's something that we all are here for, and I too am a customer. I actually started shopping at Whole Foods before I started working there. And,
goodness.
And it was too tempting. So I have a biology degree and ended up working at a grocery store.
Well, this is incredible. Tell us, I'm just interested in this title. This is an incredible title, Executive Global Grocery Coordinator. I love it. So I can't let that pass. So let's talk about that, the title, what it means, but also how does that translate in the corporate values that you have that you translate then to your customers?
Sure. I am responsible for the grocery department, which is among the largest departments at Whole Foods Market. It involves dry groceries, dairy products, bulk and frozen. And because Whole Foods Market is decentralized, it means that I help coordinate a national program among our 11 regions here in the United States, as well as Canada and the United Kingdom, to help make decisions collaboratively as a unit, to help give us an identity in grocery that extends outside of just the regions and our local stores, and to primarily source and sell the highest quality natural and organic products. And we have over 70 product categories from cleaning products to milk, eggs, butter, staples like that, as well as more interesting categories like raw foods and pasta sauces and ethnic sauces. So it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun, and I have a great team who helps get us get a lot of work done every week.
Well, this whole notion of collaboration and being in a collaborative, this whole notion of using the complete supply chain to really bring the highest value at the lowest cost for your customers is something that's very important. But I know you've been working with Arthur and Green Seal as far as making your operation as environmentally friendly as possible. And I know that you really pride yourselves as far as organic foods and certifying, again, the non-GMOs. Tell us a little bit about why you want to work with an organization like Green Seal, and what do you think that actually brings to an organization as large and well-known as your Whole Foods market?
Sure. I think when customers walk into a Whole Foods market, they assume that there has been a really strong filter put through for the products that we sell. And a lot of what Whole Foods Market depends on are our partners in the industry, including our suppliers, as well as independent third parties, such as Green Seal. And so I'll give you a little bit of history here. A few years ago, Whole Foods Market decided to launch a quality standard for cleaning products with this simple notion of everybody deserves the right to know what they are eating or buying, or in this case, washing their dishes with or doing their laundry with. And the more we dug into it, the more we realized how much we didn't know. And so in talking with our suppliers, cleaning product manufacturers such as 7th Generation and Method, BioClean, we realized that we needed to create a standard that would help our customers rank in their own minds, make decisions of what they wanted to buy. But first we need to start with more information. So the first thing you need to know about EcoScale is that it mandates full disclosure ingredient labeling for all cleaning products that we sell. And we're the only organization in the United States and perhaps the world that does that. The federal government doesn't require that. And it essentially simplified the standard to the fact of, well, have you ever thought about what you're cleaning your dishes with? Have you ever thought about what you're doing your laundry with? But in order to do that, we needed an independent organization to help us certify, because that's not our expertise. I buy groceries. In the conventional grocery world would be a category manager, but I'm not an auditor, and I'm not a quality assurance person. So we not only mandated this full disclosure labeling, but we also sought out some expertise even from Green Seal on what else we needed to think about in terms of green cleaning products. And so our base tier also does not allow the use of phosphates or chlorine or preservatives that may release formaldehyde. And as each tier goes up, there is increasing levels of quality in terms of what is allowed to the green tier, which was actually suggested by our co-CEO, Walter Robb, and he actually challenged us to create a section of the quality standard that was only plant-based ingredients. And at the time, those didn't exist. And so by us actually creating this standard and that third tier, the green tier of EcoScale, we helped launch dozens of new products, primarily organic cleaning products that hadn't existed before, because we challenged our suppliers to go to a higher level. And like when we develop other quality standards, for instance, we have rigorous quality standards in our seafood department, which were assisted by the Blue Ocean Institute and the Monterey Bay Aquarium. We have really stringent animal welfare standards in our meat department, which folks like Global Animal Partnership and Temple Grandin helped. Well, we needed somebody like that for cleaning products, and that's how we got in touch with Green Seal, because they have a well-earned reputation. They've got a lot of credibility, and what we needed them to do was help us sort of fact-check what we were thinking, but then also to be the guys to check with our suppliers that they were meeting our standards. So Whole Foods Market doesn't audit our own standard. Green Seal does. Green Seal helped us formulate the standard. Our suppliers helped us formulate the standard. And because of the integrity of Green Seal, we feel we have among the best cleaning product standards in the world.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. Arthur, why don't you go ahead and ask the next question, and we'll just move this conversation right along.
Hi, Errol.
Good to see you again, Dr.
Nice to see you. Whole Foods Market has certainly spent a great amount of time greening its supply chain, especially when it comes to household cleaners. Could you share some more information about this effort?
Sure. It took us several years to do that because we have dozens of cleaning product suppliers. We never formulate a standard in a vacuum. We involve not only our regional teams, but the folks who are going to be affected most, which are those manufacturers and marketers. And so it took us about 4 years with numerous meetings from suppliers large and small. And we ended up in this rating standard, which included a red and orange and a yellow and a green rating. And when we first launched it, we ended up having to discontinue some products that didn't actually meet the standard. And many of our suppliers actually reformulated their products to meet the baseline tier, and then everybody had to change their packaging and their labeling to tell folks what was actually in the cleaning products, which nobody had ever thought of before. And for us, it was like, hey, let's just treat this like any other food product. What's in it? And then maybe customers can make a decision based on their preference and what they want to be doing their dishes or doing their laundry with.
So, working with Green Seal, then, I think what you're saying and what you have said, Errol, is that Green Seal has really been very important as far as increasing the quality that you have, and also increasing the amount of environmental consciousness that's actually embedded into the products themselves. So it's not just the amount you're using and the water and all these things, but actually the very ingredients that you have in this is very important. So in interacting with your supply chain, the suppliers, the manufacturers that you're working with, how did they receive this initial news when you're saying, hey, by the way, we want to have you reformulate your products to meet our new standards, and also we have to be cost competitive? So how did you approach that so they felt like this really was a collaborative, it wasn't just a mandate coming from Whole Foods itself?
Sure, and we always have to be sensitive about this because one of our other core values is win-win partnerships with our suppliers. And in a sense, that's probably my biggest responsibility in the job, is making sure that our suppliers feel good about the relationship and that we are including them in these kind of decisions. So we held, I believe, 3 to 4 large conference calls with suppliers while we were developing the standard and giving them a heads up of what we were thinking, getting their feedback, incorporating some of their concerns. And we actually ended up having to make some adjustments to the standard. One of the things about proprietary ingredients in cleaning products is folks don't want to tell the exact formulation. And for example, we saw that with enzymes, where a lot of suppliers use enzymatic cleaning formulations. And so enzymes themselves are really complex molecules, in terms of what the overall chemical name probably wouldn't fit on an ingredient. So we had to make sort of like an asterisk of like, yes, you can say enzymes, but you don't have to go into the exact enzymatic formulation of that. And if a customer asks, well, you should tell them directly if they have further inquiries about it.
Got a quick question for you, and
Sure.
we have to get out. We have less than 10 seconds. What do you see for Whole Foods going over the next 5, 10, 15 years?
I see a large
area?
increase in organic and cleaning products made without the use of genetically modified organisms, and I see folks ratcheting up the supply chain to make things even more responsible. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Errol, for being with us. This is the Executive Global Grocery Coordinator of Whole Foods. Arthur, thank you for being on Emerald Planet TV, and thank you for being here. And thank you, viewers, for being with us as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.